I've been asked a couple of questions from the tinnitus community about flying with tinnitus and also what happens when your tinnitus really backs off. So, first of all, with flying, many people are already worried that flying is going to make their tinnitus worse. And I think the most important thing is that if you enjoy flying and you've flown many times without any problems, there's no reason why a flight should make your tinnitus worse. The noise in a plane is not damaging. There is some noise, but if anything, that can mask out the tinnitus. Um, and if your ears are fine, there should be no problems because your pressure, as the pressure changes, your ears should be able to decompress, your eustachian tubes should open and close, releasing any buildup of pressure normally. So even though you have tinnitus and you may be in a more reactive state, if you can enjoy flying, then my advice is to fly as normal and not to worry about it. The only thing that may be slightly contentious is if you have an ear infection or a bad cold, and that means that when the plane comes into land, you can get a tremendous buildup of pressure in the ears, which can be quite painful. And so for a few hours after the flight, you can be left with a sense of more buzzing and ringing or pain just because your focus and the attention's gone into your ears more than normal. But then equally, after a day or two, when the pressure has released, and certainly when the cold has lifted, then everything should just revert back to normal. The most important factor here is your reaction to tinnitus. And so I encourage anybody who's slightly anxious about this to practice body-based focusing techniques on the flight. It's the anxiety about it that's probably the most influential thing. So my advice to you is I wouldn't change anything and give too much power to the tinnitus. The tinnitus itself is very, very unlikely to react to a flight. It's more likely to react to your state of mind or having a physical reaction like a cold. And the other question I'd like to address is, well, a lot of people, when they take my advice, they take up body-based practice like Tai Chi or yoga, and they get cranial sacral therapy or other body-based work, which helps the nervous system settle, and they find, no surprises, that their tinnitus comes right down. And so people quite often, when they get better, they say, well, I can still hear my tinnitus, but I think this is normal. And it's true that if you put people into a totally silent room and they've never experienced tinnitus before, and you say, listen out for any noises, it's very, very common for people to start creating tinnitus as their hearing listens out and in the silence becomes so hypersensitized that it hears the nervous impulses of your own nervous system. So when you get much better, it's fantastic that you are getting better and you're doing all the right things, but you may actually be coming down into a very, very normal level of tinnitus and being much better. My advice to you is just to keep doing the body-based practice. Now the aim is for you just to take your attention off the tinnitus. You've had the tinnitus and you've learned to focus in on it. Now you need to practice mindfulness of the body to distract and change the focus of attention away from the tinnitus and onto the body. It's no longer a big issue. And by practicing body-based mindfulness, you will change the wiring of your nervous system, bring your adrenal levels down even more, and take your attention off the tinnitus. This is something you need to practice to get better. So when you're getting much better, it's really helpful just to keep on going with the practice, body-based practices, until you're no longer concerned about it or thinking about it, and then you start forgetting about it, and then the tinnitus backs off even more, so you stop reacting and you get into a very positive loop of letting go, and you'll probably find quite quickly that you wash up on the shores of no tinnitus or not even thinking about tinnitus. So all the best to you.